Okay, so today I'm going to show you just how to wire up a simple circuit on Circuit Wizard and just rectify any problems that people are kind of having with their circuits. So the first thing we do is go into File, go into New, and we go to Design with Flowchart. Okay, so when that pops up, go into Normal, go into PCB Layout, and go to Real World. Okay, so what we're going to set up today is just a small circuit which consists of a 9-volt battery. So pop in our 9-volt battery. We'll go into switches and we'll just put in a simple two-way toggle switch. We'll go down here then to output component. Okay, so for this simple circuit I'm going to put in 3 LEDs. LED from the negative of the second into the positive, and then from the last LED out and down into our wire to close our loop. Okay, now the bottom 3 we want to do in parallel. So to wire in parallel, we'll go from the switch down into our last LED, and then we're going to bring wires from our first 2 LEDs into this wire. And then what we're going to do then is bring a wire from the first LED down, over and down, and we're going to connect these 3. So we can see here the first one is wired in series because it's just going into the first LED, into the second LED, into the third LED, and down and out to our battery. The other one is coming from our switch into our first LED, so full power into that one. Then it's going over, full power into the second LED, and full power into the third LED. Okay, so once we have this done now, we're going to play our circuit. So what we do is we click on Real World, make sure Explosions is on. What we do is we click play, and we'll turn on our switch. So what we're after seeing here is the 3 LEDs that are wired in parallel, blue, along with our motor. So we'll turn off our switch again and we'll stop the circuit. So now in order to counteract the DC motor, we need to put in what's called a voltage regulator. So if you go over here to your drop down menu and go up here to PCB components, you'll see voltage regulators. Now there's many different types of voltage regulators, but we want to put in one that will have a build up to 6 volts as its maximum, because this will not blow our motor in. So we need our 7806 motor into our output in our voltage regulator. And also in the voltage regulator we need to bring it to ground, so we'll bring out from the battery up to our middle one to ground, and then from our switch into our input. Okay, so now we'll just have a look again at our motor and see how it performs. So click play and we'll turn on our switch. So this time we can see that our 3 LEDs blew, but our motor kept running, because the first time 9 volts was too much for the motor, but this time it's only allowed to build up as far as 6 volts, which is sufficient enough to power our DC motor supply. Now what we need to do down here is we need to put in resistors. So what we do is we go over to our drop down arrow and we go down to offboard components and we'll go to passive components and we'll click resistor. In order to calculate the type of resistor we needed, I did a calculation here. So we can see that R is equal to 9 minus 3 LEDs multiplied by 2.25 all over 0.025. And we can see that the resistor we need is a 90 ohm resistor. So if we go back onto the screen again, we can change our resistance in our resistor to 90. type in 90 and just take off kilo ohms and put it onto ohms. So now we have a 90 ohm resistor. So now what we do is we just take off this wire, put in our resistor before the LEDs, and just put that back into our switch. Okay, so if we press play again, we'll turn on our switch, we can see that our DC motor supply works and our LEDs work, because there's a sufficient amount of current going into our DC, and the resistor doesn't allow any more voltage than what is required to power our LEDs through them, so therefore they don't blow.